Yeah, mic should be on. Will you just double check them? Test. I almost did that on the microphone sitting over here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on Twitter and YouTube, we are out here at Goodwood. We are getting ready to get started. We have the microphone, so we're going to be doing double show here. Microphone for you all, microphone for the folks at Goodwood. It is about to go down. Are you ready to roll?
I'm ready to roll, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope everybody is having a great evening. Tonight we've got a fantastic night in store. Louisville basketball, Kentucky basketball. If you are a member of this state, it does not get any better than this. Exciting stuff. Let me hear from the Cards fans. Cards fans? Woo! All right, Cats fans. That's what I thought. Boo! All right. I am Jacob Lane. This is Presley Meyer. We are the State of Louisville Starting 502 podcast. This is State of Louisville Live, brought to you by Surfside. Shout out to the folks from Surfside. If you have not had one of those, please get to the bar and try one. I bet you if you find Randy out there in the Louisville jacket, he can probably get you one. Yeah, we are excited to be here. Thank you all for choosing to spend your evening at Goodwood on Whiskey Row. As I mentioned, we've got a great night in store as we get ready for U of L and UK on a weird, cold November night. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. Basketball, there's no wrong time for basketball or football. But this game being on a Tuesday night at 8 o'clock is certainly throwing my circadian rhythm off as a fan.
I had to snap some pictures as we were coming in the door today because there were leaves on the trees, which is weird as you're walking into a UK-UL game.
Yeah. Vince, will you do me a favor? Will you come over here and center the laptop just slightly? We're kind of off-centered. I'm sorry.
Oh, gosh.
Dad's upset. Come on, Dad. Shout out to producer Vince, ladies and gentlemen, former Louisville football player, assistant coach Vincent Lococo. He is not a basketball guy, but he is giving his all for the Ville this evening. There we go, by producing our show. As I mentioned, we are the State of Louisville. We are out here with Surfside. Thank you to everyone who has chosen to spend their night here. We're going to talk some Louisville basketball. How you feeling, man? Just give me your general, how you feeling?
I mean, there has not been a moment like this since, I think, like post-COVID, right?
Yeah.
There hasn't been a moment like this in the rivalry. So
what do you mean by this? Just, what do you mean this? What does this in the rivalry mean to you?
I think how equal the opportunity is for both teams. I think that, I think going into last year, I think the expectation was a UK win.
Yeah.
I think in the Kenny Payne era, it was kind of a baked-in expectation. And then, Louisville's last win is during COVID, right? So people like to write that off, right?
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
I think this is the most talented, the most balanced. You have the talent on both teams. The most balanced coaching has been in this rivalry game in a long time.
Yeah.
And you finally have a situation where your coach it's not Rick Pitino.
Yeah.
He had like whatever the situation was with that, where he just couldn't get
too big.
You couldn't get over that obstacle, right? And then, you have the weird Chris Mack years, and then obviously we know what the rivalry was like in 2022 and to 24. So
yeah. You saw a bit of it last year of Louisville trying to kind of bounce back from that Rick Pitino, Chris Mack, and Kenny Payne funk against Kentucky. But at the end of the day, Kentucky was just bigger, faster, stronger. Louisville was, not to make excuses, injuries are certainly going to play a role at any time you play non-con. But, obviously Louisville was missing Trey Ore last year, Corin Johnson, and Kason Pryor.
Absolutely.
So there was a lot to be desired from that team. Louisville still played well. They got back into the game. But it certainly sets us up for tonight. And these are two vastly different teams than they were a year ago. Louisville almost entirely a new team outside of Kenai Roofs and Kason Pryor and a couple of John Hadley. Right, for Kentucky, they bring Brandon Garrison back, who is really going to be the anchor down low for them tonight. They've got Otega Oweh back. They've got, Colin Chandler. They have more continuity, but they're still trying to work in Denzel Aberdeen and obviously Jalen Lowe. Sure. So there will be a lot at play tonight for them. For the folks joining us online, thank you for joining us on Twitter and YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to the State of Louisville, or if you're here at Goodwood and you've not subscribed to the State of Louisville, go to youtube.com/@thestateoflou. Subscribe. All types of great content. We've got 4 original podcasts ranging from basketball, football, baseball with Louisville to an interview show focusing on the city of Louisville. Other great content as well. Follow us on Instagram and on Twitter @thestateoflou, @JacobLane08 and @PressMeyer. Look, we got a lot to get into tonight on the show and previewing what we're expecting. And This game, as of about, 30 minutes ago, I think Louisville was minus 5.5 favorites. The line has been weird today.
It's been weird.
It makes me feel like I've been questioning all day. What does Vegas know that I don't know?
What do they know?
I don't know.
What do they know, Jake?
The line, it's either the line opened incorrectly at minus 3.5.
I wouldn't doubt that. I don't think that's what happened.
To where now the bettors are coming in at 6, 7, but there's still a ton of money on Louisville, on UK money line.
Right.
I think I saw today that some statistic like 30 or 40% of the bets are on UK money line. So I don't know. That's a very interesting portion of this. But let's just start from the top, man. Tell me, so far through 2 games, if anybody in the audience here or on Twitter hasn't seen this Louisville team, just what have you seen so far, Presley, from the Jackson State and South Carolina State game?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing to know about Louisville or Kentucky is that neither team has played a legitimate regular season game against anybody worth a damn. I think that's the first. No shade to South Carolina State or anybody, any of the 4 teams that these 2 teams have faced. But I mean, let's be honest here, right? I mean, this is the real first litmus test of this season. But so I think you preface every conversation with that. But I think if you're looking at Louisville, I think that what the expectation should be for a Pat Kelsey coach team for the next 5-10 years for the foreseeable future, the standard is set by this team. And what I mean by that is the depth and the interchangeability, if you will, the versatility, the roster versatility that this team has is what the coaching staff desired a season ago. And so I think for the first time, in the Pat Kelsey tenure at Louisville, that's what you're going to see on the floor, right? You have fantastic guard play, a lot of ball pressure. Yeah. I think that's huge, right? Ball pressure on defense. Uncharacteristically talented big men, and what I mean by that is you're not going to see a lot of back to the basket offensive plays, right?
No.
You're going to see some big men that like to put the ball on the floor, that like to shoot the ball, that like to pass the ball. Which is something that's different to prepare for that teams aren't used to. So
it truly is at the center spot. You hear this phrase over the last 4 or 5 years in basketball, the dunker. That's what these centers are.
Yeah,
Moreno and Frew especially are guys that are going to set picks, roll to the basket, look for a lob, look for an easy lay-in. Yep. They're going to screen, pop. It's going to be a different type of game outside of Brandon Garrison.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the one player, if you're a Louisville fan, that you need to be on the lookout for, right? He's the guy that kind of stirred things up, mixed things up a little bit early on in the Louisville-Kentucky game last year. And this is a guy that's going to be, out trying to get his. We hear a lot of conversation about Malachi Marino around UK, and then I'm trying to think of, do they have any other bigs that are?
They do. They have Yelovich, the kid from, I believe, Lithuania, or he's from Europe, was a multi-year international European, professional.
Point being, I think the conversation is surrounding the other guys, and not him. And I think Brandon Garrison is a guy that could potentially, I think that UK fans, if I'm a Kentucky fan, I'm thinking, okay, he could potentially feast against this team.
Exactly. We'll get into that here in a few minutes. I think he, for Kentucky, is very much the X factor. I'll tell you why that is. I think it's a very specific thing that you saw glimpses of from him last year in the game. We'll talk about that here in a minute with more minutes. For me, I've watched this game, and I have, for the first time in my life as a Louisville fan, just been blown away at the talent on the floor.
Yeah.
Look, for the Kentucky fans in the room, watching this on Twitter, when I say this, it might ruffle some feathers for U of L fans, but UK has had more talent. Yeah. Significantly more talent over the years. We've had to watch them play with Anthony Davis, play with Devin Booker, play with all of these 5-star freshmen, and for the first time, it feels like Louisville has a guy of that magnitude with Michael Brown Jr.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stop there. Normally Louisville teams, it's one star, right? The teams have always been built around having multiple role players that, you have a Peyton and a Russ, and you have a Montrez, and you have a Wayne Blackshear. You have all these big names, but they play roles. Russ was the star of that team. The rest of them were role players, some were star role players, right? For this team, it is just built with star power. I mean, Michael Brown Jr., Ryan Conwell, Javon Hadley, Kaysen Pryor. I see Sonata Frew is still developing into his role. We'll see what that looks like. Isaac McNeely was the best player by far on his team last year. He's now the 3rd or 4th best player on the Louisville team.
And that's exactly what I was going to get into, right? I mean, that this Louisville team, I think the big difference, right? If you're a Louisville fan that hasn't caught a lot of games, maybe you have YouTube TV or something like that, and you just haven't you haven't gotten to see a lot of Louisville basketball yet this year. I think one thing to know is that you're going from a roster full of a lot of guys that were the third or fourth option at their last place to a roster full of guys that were the first option at their last place.
Right.
I think you have a guy like an Isaac McNeely that in a normal year, this is your standout transfer.
Right.
And he's kind of getting buried. You have Adrian Woolley, a guy who's a projected second-round pick right now.
Right.
That's coming off the bench.
And again, we're going to get into just about every single one of these players over the next 45 minutes or so. But you're spot on. It's never felt like this for Louisville, at least maybe since the 2013 team. The Jordan Nwora team certainly had its stars, the David Johnsons, the Carly Joneses of the world, the Jordan Nworas, the Malik Williams. We've had stars, right? But this is a different level for me. And Louisville has always historically played well against bad teams in the opening. I mean, of course, the Kenny Payne days are an anomaly, and you block that out. But we've historically blown out the Eastern Michigans and the Ohios and the Jackson States. So these games are not it's not as if we're just saying, my God, they're Louisville beaters. It's just the sheer dominance that they've established in the first two games, specifically with Louisville, that has impressed me, and it's the stars. And you mentioned Adrian Woolley. This is a guy, for the basketball fans that track or keep up with stats, the per 40 stat in the NBA is a telling sign of a player who plays limited minutes but does really well in his role. Adrian Woolley right now is a per 40-minute all-star in college basketball. This is a guy that if you give him 5 minutes, he's going to give you 5 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists.
Stat stuffer. And
he impacts winning, but it doesn't impress you with, it's not 30 points, 15 assists. It's 9 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, a block shot. Like, it's just dominating the game in a different way. And I'm really excited to see that. Now, on the UK side, I'll go first. In terms of watching them, they are certainly a different team than I have seen in years past. Really built around experience. The Denzel Aberdeen, Otega Owe, Diabate from Alabama comes over, having played in multiple tournaments. I mean, it's impressive, the roster that Mark Pope has built. My thing is they've looked good. They are working back players, trying to get right. I still don't know, from my perspective as a non-UK fan, if they're going to get a lot better. But I wonder what their ceiling is. I truly do, because for me, looking at their team, they have really good players. I don't see the star on that team. It's a lot of really good role players that fit, and you can win that way. That's how Pat tried to win last year.
Absolutely.
Pat brought in Terrence Edwards, who was the star, and everyone else was just really damn good role players, right? What have you seen with Kentucky?
Yeah, I mean, I think much the same. Now, I would object and say that Otega Owe is legitimate. I mean, he's a preseason, All-American, first-team All-American type of guy. Ultimately, the results are what matters. But I mean, this is a guy getting a lot of hype. A guy that's, I would imagine he'll be pretty successful in the league if he continues on this trajectory. And then, I've been really impressed with what I've seen out of Malachi Moreno and Colin Chandler so far, right? Colin Chandler, a guy that. This is the missionary guy, right? This is the guy that went on the mission?
That is the guy that went on the mission.
Okay, yeah. And so, now he's on a mission to bring Kentucky basketball.
Hey, they need I'm trying to word this correctly, in 2025. I think they want a milky shooting guard, if you will. White milk.
Are you saying that he's...
I'm saying he's white, Presley. I'm saying he's white. I'm saying Colin Chandler is white, okay?
He's a big hustle guy.
He's a gym rat. But no, this is a kid, you saw the athleticism. He is dangerously athletic, not even sneaky athletic, dangerously, very loud athletic. Yeah. And he's their best shooter. So far he's a volume shooter. Him and Jasper Johnson have really impressed me with their ability to shoot. And I think that they beat you playing as a team and not one guy dominating. And last year we saw one guy dominate. Lamont Butler went 10 for 10, 6 for 6 from the three-point line. I don't think Kentucky can win playing that tonight. In my opinion, I don't think they have one guy, unless he goes for 30, 35, that can do that.
We didn't say that last year, or we said the same thing last year, right?
We might have.
We may have said that.
I have selective listening and memory. My wife tells me that pretty often.
I think that's the number one thing that scares Louisville fans, right? And not to jump all over the place here, but that's the number one thing that scares Louisville fans about this game. If you look at the history of this rivalry game over the last 20, 25 years, a rivalry that UK is mostly dominated. And,
Yeah, absolutely.
Part of the reason for their domination is because you have Josh Harrelson coming out of nowhere and dropping a double-double.
Right.
You have, Lamont Butler, a guy that, I mean, granted, great player.
Yes,
Don't get me wrong,
yes.
but not a guy that's just hitting 6 threes on the reg. And so, I think Louisville fans were a bit snake bitten in a sense because of that.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd be curious. We're talking about just the construction of this UK roster. I'm curious, in your opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, who's
This year, here we go. Okay, we still seem to be rocking and rolling. I don't know if the show ever went down on Twitter, which is great. Shout out to the Twitter audience and YouTube. Sorry about that. My computer is built to reset every 2 days. So I think that Otega is a really good player. And I think that when you look at the makeup of this team, they chose the route of having quantity over quality, if you will, in terms of role players, multiple guys. And I think that it starts with Otega, but it's not a far, it's Jalen Lowe right below that. And he's working his way back. He only played, I think, 16 minutes to the man. We had 9 points. Defensively tonight, that's who you have to go after is Jalen Lowe. We'll get to that here in a second.
Sure.
But I think Otega is the drink, the stir, goodness gracious.
The straw that stirs the drink. There you go. Yes, yeah. I guess, yeah, I mean, I think we all could speculate that that's the drink stirrer, but I'm wondering who this 11th guy that comes off the bench and scores 32 is going to be.
That's not happening tonight. I said this on our show Sunday night. The tides are turning on that. I think that we're going to get past that tonight. We're going to kill that tonight as a U of L defense. There will be no Colin Chandler sneaking up and hitting a bunch of threes. There will be no Denzel Aberdeen, Jalen Lowe going off. Now, look, they can have good games, don't get me wrong. But I don't think tonight they're going to allow that one guy who hasn't to do the Lamont Butler last year. He hasn't hit a 3 all season to just start draining them. I think that Pat has drilled into their head, close out, close out, close out, close out. Because last year, that's what it was. They just the biggest weakness on last year's team was the inability to close out on 3-pointers. I mean, they just couldn't figure it out for the life of them. And it cost them in the Creighton game. It cost them in the ACC championship game. It cost them in the Kentucky game last year. It happened a lot. I think that you see that flip tonight and that Louisville takes it to UK. That's the difference. Louisville takes it to UK.
If you want my opinion on if there's a logical reason why that is, if there's a logical reason why you just have a mistake that you can't correct, I mean, to me, it's tired legs, right? Like, to me, it's a group of guys that only went really 7-8 deep for most of the season. That causes a lot of that. I see you laughing over here.
I got a text message from a friend of ours that said, watching the stream, love the work badge still upholstered to your pants. My badge is still on my pants.
We never clock out around here.
No, that's me just always self-identifying when we walk in the room. I think that we've really hit the nail on the head with the UK team, with Otega, and kind of how they'll play tonight. I think You talk about the versatility of UK. I think that's going to be the big thing that they didn't have as much of last year.
Sure.
With a guy like Diabate who can handle the ball, he can play inside, he can shoot it. I think that he is the guy that for Louisville they've really got to be cautious of. Him and Colin Chandler and Jasper Johnson. Not that anybody else can't hurt you. Those are the three guys that I'd really focus in on tonight and make sure that we really are taking advantage of them offensively or defensively and putting them in bad spots offensively.
What are your thoughts on Jasper Johnson? You know, there's a lot of talk about Michael Brown.
Yeah.
There's nobody that wants to prove themselves tonight more than Jasper Johnson.
No, I certainly don't want Jasper Johnson to have his coming out party tonight. We would prefer to avoid that. The Woodford County native needs to hold off on going off against Louisville. But I've been impressed with him. He has shot it pure. He's been confident. I would say him and Colin Chandler have been the only confident in rhythm shooters for UK so far this season. I mean, they're the only two that have hit more than one or two in a game. UK shot, I think, like 30, 40, 30%, 20% against Nichols, and then got a little bit hotter against Valparaiso, but it's been those guys. Jasper Johnson is not going to be a guy that I think will necessarily take over the game with ball in his hands, getting his own shot. What he's going to take advantage of is if Louisville overcompensates defensively on somebody and they over-rotate, and he is the beneficiary of the ball movement and finding him in a corner, finding him on an open wing for a three-pointer.
Yeah, and I mean, I think if there's one player that they take advantage of in that situation, it's got to be Michael, right? Like, I think that...
I think so.
If you're looking at this Louisville roster, if there's one guy that, you know, it still has a little bit of work to do adjusting defensively, it's got to be Michael. I mean, which is understandable, but I mean, I think that was kind of the knock on him coming in tonight. If he wants to see 30 minutes, for instance, I think that's really important because you have a guy in Kobe Rogers right behind him.
You hit the nail on the head.
That the coaching staff would love to play 25, 30 minutes tonight.
Yeah, I think that Michael Brown, you need him out there on the floor tonight. You need him to score 12 to 20 points. You don't need him to have a crazy game to win, but you need him to play well, and you need him to be able to handle the physicality of this game. I said it on the show Sunday. I think if UK was smart, UK would have a two-pronged approach. One, Brandon Garrison is going out there, and he is just trying to start a fight with everybody. I said this to a coworker today, and I mean this wholeheartedly. If Louisville goes to Vangelis Zubris early, they have lost the game because Brandon Garrison will have established his dominance over Sonny Fruit. That's the number one storyline in my opinion tonight is Brandon Garrison and the Kentucky boys trying to muck it up and test the physicality of Sonny Fruit. Sonny Fruit doesn't look like he wants any part of contact so far this season. Everything has been shying away, not aggressive. Now he stepped into it a little bit more against Jackson State. I want to see that continue tonight, but I do think that UK is going to attack him, and then I also think they are going to send the house at Michael Brown Jr. Ortega Owe, Jalen Lowe, who's not a great defender, but is experienced, another body they can throw on. Colin Chandler, Jasper Johnson. I think UK is going to do everything they can to say, foul him, press him, give him contact, pull his jersey a little bit, give him a couple elbows when he's not looking, make him show you that he can handle the physicality of this game. And look, I think the kid is going to be a top 5 pick. I think that he is going to be bigger than that tonight. But I think if Louisville loses, it's because one of the reasons, and that is because UK found a way to take advantage of the youth of Michael Brown Jr.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a weakness that you have to try to exploit. I mean, I think it's the same way for Louisville when Jasper Johnson's in the game. Very similar. I do think that's an area of the game you have to win. Right?
Yeah,
like that's
you have to.
U of L, or excuse me, UK absolutely has the advantage down low. And so Louisville has to find other ways to win the game, or they have to find ways to counteract that, right?
Yeah.
I think that one of the ways that U of L does that is by pressuring the ball and forcing a lot of turnovers. You see two teams that, for all of the great things about these two squads, I think that one weakness that we've seen so far is just their inability to hold on to the ball. That's understandable in the early season.
Right.
But U of L has had 2 blowout wins in spite of having some turnover issues.
Right.
And in spite of having some issues, again, in spurts at the free throw line.
Yes.
Yes. And so
continues to be a bugaboo for this team, free throw shooting, and I think the turnovers have been a byproduct of when you're so much better than the teams you're playing, I don't want to say you fall into bad habits, but you're willing to test yourself a little bit more. You're willing to throw that one-handed bounce pass. You're willing to throw that alley-oop. You're willing to throw the full court press pass. You're willing to test it a little bit more because of the fact that you're playing teams that you know you're better than. I think turnovers are going to come with playing at the pace that U of L has. I heard this morning on the Diener show that Louisville is playing currently. A shot is going up in 12 seconds. Yeah. Sorry, 10 seconds, I believe was the number.
Okay.
No, sorry, it was 12. Last year, the fastest paced offense shot the ball in 14 seconds. Yeah. Louisville is playing at a pace that is far beyond the benchmark of what college basketball teams play. There's turnovers that are going to be associated with that.
Absolutely.
I think tonight both teams are going to want to run. You're going to see a true game of transition, guys rebounding and going. These teams are athletic 1 through 5. Everyone can be versatile outside of a few. They can handle the ball, they can go. And I think you're going to see that. And with that is going to come turnovers. It's just a matter of, can you control it? Can you fight the urge if you're Michael Brown Jr. on a fast break to throw an alley-oop at half court to Sonny Fruit?
Right.
Can you fight that urge and just go in for the layup? Be smart. Play fundamentally sound. That's a huge narrative tonight, and for a team like Louisville that does skew younger at guard, can the guards play at that pace without turning the ball over, or can they dictate the pace against UK? Can they take advantage? I see him, he's right there. Yeah, Chief, we'll get you up here in just a second, man. We got you. Will they take advantage of that? I think that's a huge storyline tonight for the guards. Can they take advantage of that?
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's the.
You're good. Keep going.
That is absolutely the one of the top storylines in this game.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think the other storyline, and this is going to sound like the most just baked in silly take, but shooting the ball.
Yeah. Yes. Shooting the ball. They both shot a lot of threes.
I mean, there's been a history of, because it's a rivalry game, because we come out a little they don't come out the best, right?
No.
I mean, happened last year.
Yes.
Happened the year before.
Historically, I said this again the other night on the show. How many times have you gone to watch a UK game after a show on CBS has ran long, or there's a women's lacrosse game on ESPN that went to overtime, and they go to the UK U of L game, and it's 11-2 UK. U of L has started the game 0 for 7 from the field, 3 fouls, 2 turnovers. I mean, that's what we've historically seen every year from U of L.
Right. I think with
that, you got to get past that tonight.
You talked about flipping the script, and I mean, I think that's as silly and simple as that sounds. Just coming out and taking control of the game is something Louisville's not been able to do. I mean, they've rarely been able to do in our lifetimes in this game. And I think that's something that, people say, there are varying opinions on this, on the reason why. But I mean, I think a lot of it just has to do with UK comes in with a much calmer mindset.
Yes.
I think
a lot of that is their coach.
Yeah.
It's a matter of them not feeling the pressure of their coach. I got to have this win for my legacy. I got to have this over John. I got to have this because I was a U of L player. Okay, let's transition real quick. You're ready. Come on up, man. We've got royalty in the building, ladies and gentlemen. If you are chronically online, you have probably heard of our guest joining us tonight. I know our audience on YouTube and Twitter certainly is familiar with him. He came to be of notoriety here at U of L about 2 years ago. He broke into the football stadium, and we're all saying, who's this guy that is just criminally breaking into the stadiums? And his name is GFED. GFED is on a tour of 100 stadiums in 100 days, I believe, if that is still ongoing. Yes, joined us tonight on the show. Come on, have a seat. I will give him my mic, Presley, so I'll let you handle. We're going to double mic you here. This is our YouTube mic.
Oh, perfect.
You have our in-person mic. You're going to have triple mics right now. You think you can handle that?
I don't have enough mics.
Yeah, well, here's what we'll do. We'll put this one on your hat if that's cool.
All right.
All right, so our audience on YouTube now can't hear me. They can't hear GFED. They can't hear Presley. But as I mentioned, this is a man with over collectively 150,000 followers, over 100,000 followers on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram.
Oh no, we're at like 700.
Okay, 700,000.
Yeah.
I mean,
humbly.
Hey, I would be bragging about that to everybody if it was me. But this is a man that's become well known in the sports space for going and touring stadiums, showing his perspective as a sports fan. He's been in every stadium in the country just about at this point. Still on the tour, right? 100 stadiums on. Is this one of the arenas on the
This is day 73, baby.
Day 73.
Been on the road since late August. We're on to day 73, just ahead of the home stretch.
Yeah, well, you're in the right place tonight. What are your thoughts on this game? Give us the lowdown, man.
I mean, just walking through here, I've gone to one game at the Yum before. I've not gone to a game of this caliber at the Yum. We just walked by probably over 1,000 people outside of the stadium right now, and there's 90 minutes till tip.
Yes.
Do not see that hardly ever.
On a Tuesday night?
On a weeknight, yeah. When you have all of these bars to be at, that's incredible to me. The passion is there. The hunger for hoops is there. The hunger to be back in hoops is there. And I can't wait to see a good college basketball rivalry. One of the best in the nation. So excited to be a part of this. It's going to be one of my favorite days of the trip. I already know it.
Oh, I love that. I think every Louisville fan, that's money, music to their ears. When you come to Louisville, you've been to the football stadium now, you're in the basketball stadium. Just, you mentioned the fandom, but what's been your encounter and everything like with the fans? I know you have, I don't know how the other fan bases and other schools interact with you, but it feels like Louisville fans are always trying to interact with you on Twitter,
Oh, definitely.
It feels like you've made like a little home here.
A little bit, yeah. No, I mean, you guys picked up on what I was doing before most fan bases, I would say. It's going back to the days of the walk-on challenge. You guys were one of the first that I did and one of the first to like really explode. And then we had the Notre Dame game in 23 after that. That kind of like,
Yeah, the field rush.
Right. So people ate that up, and it's always an easy trip to drop down from Chicago where I live at, and I always get good hospitality. It's cool to just drop in, do some radio shows, meet some people along Whiskey Row, and yeah, really feel like I'm a part of something. I feel like I'm a part of something more at Louisville than a lot of places.
I'm most curious how your life has changed in 73 days. Of essentially, I mean, how many times have you slept in your bed in the last 73 days?
Like 3?
3 days.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I could go I have a really hard time traveling for work for like 2-3 days, let alone 73.
Yeah.
I go crazy.
You got to bring the Miralax when you go.
Yeah, we've gotten sick a couple times. We've had to go through a lot of adversity. We've had a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but it's supposed to be a challenge. So if I didn't have that, then it wouldn't be as captivating for the viewer. So that's how I see it. We went to every FBS stadium in a year and a half's time prior to doing this.
Yeah.
So I like to think I trained myself at least a little bit to be prepared for this situation. That being said, prepare yourself for traveling 100 straight days. A lot easier said than done.
Yeah.
But I'm very proud of where we've come so far, and now we have 3 weeks and 5 days until I can be in my own bed for more than a few nights in a row and really think about the next steps.
Just shower at your own house. Just like use like a normal sized bottle of shampoo for once in your life.
You gotta be a little different to travel like that.
You do, yeah. You are. You G-Fed go crazy, like obviously.
I put it in the handle for a reason, man.
Yeah.
So I think
crazy. Don't take showers anywhere outside of my house.
I think that people are curious how Louisville stacks up, right? Like fans are competitive in that way, and I'm sure that a lot of people. This is probably one of your top 5 most asked questions, but how do you feel like a Louisville game day, football, basketball, women's lacrosse? Like how do you feel that it stacks up compared to other colleges? What's different? What's good? What's bad? Shoot it to us straight.
Sure. I mean, like, the football stadium I think is great. One of the only ones in the FBS that has all seat backs.
Sure.
Super comfortable spot. You have, somewhat of a professional feel while still not taken away from a good college tailgate environment, a good parking lot tailgate. Of course, like a lot of people aren't going to put it at like the top of their like college stadium list because it doesn't have like the history of a lot of them. But I think it's a very comfortable spot to watch a football game, and the crowd that is there is a crowd that's very passionate about their team. As far as basketball goes, the Yum Center is incredibly impressive. There's only 4 college basketball arenas that are bigger than every NBA arena in the entire country. Louisville is one of them. So just walking in there, that also has a very professional feel.
Sure.
And I don't want to say too much on what I've seen inside of the building so far, because I think what I'm going to see tonight is going to surpass that.
It's going to be a little different.
Yeah.
Vastly different. Are you doing the student section tonight? Is that where the seats are?
I did purchase my own ticket. With that being said, I have gotten in contact with people in the student section, so I'm sure I'll make my way down there at some point. But you know me, you know how the videos go. I'm going to make my rounds. I'm going to document what I can. Be around the bars a little bit, be around the concourse a little bit, maybe stop in a few premium sections if it's available to me. And get to talk to a lot of people like you guys too, and get a feel for, you know, what the state of the program is, what the state of the community is, and really document that to a national audience.
Yep. So I know we're a Louisville show, so typically our questions will be a little focused. But there are a lot of UK fans in the building. What has been your experience in Lexington, Rupp Arena, Kroger Field? I know. I gotta ask though. What do you think? It's not as good as Louisville, right?
Don't put him on the spot or anything.
I'll give you L&N over Kroger.
Okay.
I'll give you that. Rupp is special too. I don't want to like slight one to the other because I think Big Blue Nation, they got something special going on there as well. And I appreciate more than anything that you guys are just lockstep with like the basketball game being like the biggest rivalry. So I have a lot of love for Louisville, of course, but I'm from Michigan, and I'm a Michigan State fan as well. The Michigan State rivalry, you know, you always have all the Michigan fans are all football first, all the Michigan State fans are basketball first. And it goes, you know, Michigan will win in football, wait till basketball season. Michigan State wins in basketball. It's like, oh, this isn't football. And like it never ends and it's frustrating. So I think that having your rivalry lockstep wherever in the state is like, this is like two basketball schools. This is what it means most right here. I think that is really refreshing. I like going to different areas of the country where basketball really is the king of everything.
Love that. You're in the right place. It's my favorite part about living in the city is that you can have a conversation with your coworker, your mom, your dad, your friend, your neighbor, the person at the car wash about basketball. And everyone is equally as smart about the game. It is a lot of fun. And I think you'll see that as you go in here tonight. I think you'll also pick up on the reason why a guy like me is Louisville through and through has had a really hard time going to this game for a lot of years because my emotions can't handle being in the same room as that many UK fans who are equally as passionate about their fan base and their program as we are about ours. But we'll get you out of here on this so you can go out and see the pregame and everything. Give us just a prediction, keys to the game. I don't know how much you've kept up with both teams. I know you are a sports guy. I've certainly heard your takes. Give us what you think about what's going to happen out there. And if you're willing to give us a prediction, I know you don't want that. You want both fans to watch equally.
No, we're good. We're good. With the one downfall of going to 100 stadiums in 100 days is I have not watched a lot of games outside of the ones that I've been at. So I would be lying to you to say I know Kentucky and Louisville's roster up and down at this current moment. I know I'm excited to see Mikel Brown. You know, that's going to be a big freshman splash. And there's a lot of other guys on the team that have been making a lot of impacts. But I'm always going to ride with the home team. And we can take care of Kentucky when I'm at Rupp later this year when they play North Carolina. But for today, I wore the Louisville shirt for a reason, and we're going to ride with the Cards. I'll give you Louisville 86, Kentucky. We'll do 82.
All right, there you go. So if you're a betting person out there, take Kentucky to cover the points. We have plus 6.5 right now for this. So that's based off the GFED guarantee.
Easy money.
Make some money tonight.
There you go.
Yeah, we don't want to.
I don't know about the guarantee, but I'll be rooting hard for it.
Well, GFED, we'll send you out here. Thank you so much for dropping in.
Absolutely.
Everybody out here right now, if you have your cell phone, you have TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, go follow GFED, go crazy, support him 100
There we go. There we go.
This guy is a Louisville fan. Don't let the 100 stadiums and 100 days fool you.
I got something for you. Hey, appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir. All right, Press, you go ahead and keep us going here. Let's get back into talking
keep this
basketball.
thing rolling. Who wants to talk some ball? Guys, Jacob, as we're rearranging the room once again.
This is dedication, Press.
Yeah, you need to like switch into your black shirt when you start moving the chair
Yes,
off.
I feel like I am
And
at
then-
home right now. Like not because of GFED joining, but like I'm cleaning up as I go. As a parent of two,
Yeah.
I constantly am cleaning up after my 4 and 8-year-old. It feels like that's what I'm doing right now.
My wife tells me you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to clean while you cook.
Yes, I
You
do
don't
that.
just.
I do. I can't stand
I don't
it. So
do that.
let's get back into it. Let's talk a little basketball. As we mentioned, we are State of Louisville, starting 502 podcast, State of Louisville live here at Goodwood on Whiskey Row with our friends from Surfside. We are extremely excited for Louisville, Kentucky, coming up here in less than 2 hours, less than an hour and a half actually. I'm going to be Heading out here shortly to go over to the arena and do a little bit of media work. But let's talk on the Louisville side X factors in this game, okay?
Sure. Yeah.
I told you I think the X factor for UK is Brandon Garrison. I think Brandon Garrison is going to come into this game looking to be physical, really bring that oomph against the Louisville big men. What do you think is the X factor for Louisville in this game going against a very talented UK team?
So I think my answer is categorically different than it would have been maybe 10 days ago. And I think that's because it probably would have been Kenai Roos 10 days ago, but now Kenai Roos is your leading rebounder and your leading scorer and has looked electric and like almost a, I'm not going to say completely different player,
right,
but a pretty significantly different player this season. I'm going to go Javon Hadley.
Okay.
Because,
do you think he's going to play? Have we heard? I have not been on, on Twitter. Do we think he's going to play?
I would be shocked if Javon Hadley doesn't play.
Yeah. Do you think he starts? I assume if he's healthy, the lineup goes back to game one lineup.
I mean, you're talking about the guy who played outside. He was 2 minutes behind Chucky Hepburn in the most minutes played last season. Right.
And Chucky was literally because they didn't have anybody else.
Yes. And Javon Hadley played less because he needed to and more because Louisville had to play him. Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Chucky Hepburn played because you had Chucky Hepburn, Chucky Hepburn, Fat Edwards, and that was, not much behind that, right? Javon played because Javon's just a damn good player.
Yeah.
And you saw him kind of come into his own in the back half of that season.
Yeah.
And I just think this is a guy that's really heady. He just makes the right decisions all the time. He's always there for cleanup work, for rebounds, right? I mean,
you see his teeth? I think he got new teeth in the offseason.
Did my guy get?
Yeah, we got a picture from game one of him on the intros coming out and he's pointing his teeth. We think those are some nice teeth, man.
Shiny teeth.
Yeah.
Shiny teeth that sparkle.
Yeah. Shiny teeth. Yes, exactly. I'm right there with you. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Fairly Odd Parents, baby.
That's right.
Yeah, Chip Skylark. Right?
Chip Skylark.
Yeah, Chip Skylark.
Shiny teeth and me.
Yes. So Javon, though, I like that pick. For me, it's Kenai Roos. And it's close. It's Kobe Rogers behind him for different reasons. Kobe's going to play a lot less minutes, but you need Kobe to come in and provide the veteran spell of Mikal Brown. Because Kobe comes in and he scores 6 points, gets 5 assists and 4 rebounds, and then goes and sits down for a while.
Kobe Rogers is like, I'm trying to think of who I want to compare him to, and every time I try to compare him to a former Cardinal, I feel like I'm insulting him.
Yeah, I know. No, I don't know. We need more sample size to truly understand. But so far, he's like eggs and bacon for breakfast. You don't go to it every day. Maybe you do.
He's eggs and bacon.
He's eggs and bacon, but when you do, it certainly doesn't disappoint. It gives you what you need. It nourishes your body, gets you back to what you need energy-wise.
That's not great for the cholesterol.
No,
but that's fine.
Well, that might be. Yeah, maybe you get some turkey bacon.
Sure. Well, you can switch to the egg whites and turkey bacon.
Egg whites and turkey bacon. He's reliable. He's steady. He's the same guy every day. Like Chris Mack used to call an everyday guy. He brings that just calmness to his team when he's out on the floor. You can trust him, and he's still getting better. The thing about his career, for fans that don't know him, is he was a D2 national champion, transferred to College of Charleston. Over the one season he was there, in the back, I think the last 8 to 6 games, averaged over 20 points a game, was their best player. And then tore his ACL in the first round against College of Charleston, missed all of last year. He's in his last season, he's fully healthy, he's got a lot of proof. They need him, but to me, it's Kenai Roos. Kenai Roos, I said this on the show Sunday and I'll say it again. If Kenai has a night tonight like he has had, even remotely close to Jackson State and South Carolina State, which is double-doubles or near double-doubles, if he has that one signature dunk and he has a big game, get ready for every NBA draft website to be sharing clips of Kenai Roos. That talk will heat up significantly. And he's going to come off the bench most likely, but he has a chance to really put his impact on this game. There's not anyone on UK's team that fits his mold.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Colin Chandler. I think that's the closest that you have.
I would say it's Diabate, and he's smaller, 6'7", a little bit heavier, not as much of a playmaker as a guy who can put the ball in his hand. Now he can. He mucks it up more. He's rebounding, getting three. He's 3 and D, and Kenai is too. But Kenai has shown, man, he will punch on your head if you don't get out of the way.
Fearless.
He's a dog.
And I think the difference between last year and this year, right? Like Pat Kelsey talked about the fact that Kenai Roos last year, his only wish in life was to not be the freshman, right? He did not want to be that guy that didn't know where he was supposed to be, that was going to mess things up. Because really, I mean, you got to think, he probably came in not expecting to play very much last season.
Right.
And he was thrust into a role when Casey Pryor went out that was completely unexpected. And I thought he did well in that role. I mean, I think he exceeded most people's expectations. But I think that the endearing part about him is just how much he cares and how good of a teammate he is. Like, you can truly care. You can truly tell. Like, I think for him, for Allie, and for Kobe, it's just different. It's different, the way that his teammates respect him, the way that they look up to him. And I think now that he's a guy that knows what he's doing 95% of the time, it's just, he's somebody that you can look to.
Yeah, I agree. And I think this year what's allowed him to do that is the amount of other guys on the floor who command attention. Last year when he did play, at first he was counted on to play defense, really bring aggressive energy, dump the ball, get out in transition, provide that difference of a 6'9" frame or 6'7" frame with long arms that we didn't have. But as the season went on, Pat needed more and more and more, and as that happened, his return diminished. It wasn't as impactful.
Absolutely.
And I think this year we're back to where Kenai has a chance to be himself because he has Javon, he has Kaysen, he has Frew, he has Vangelis, he has Ali Khalifa. They have all the guards. And I think he's recognizing, wait a minute, I can be myself and I can play within this, but I can also outplay this. I'm better than what this role is.
Yes.
And so give me the ball, put the ball on the floor. Give me the minutes. I will score. I will give you what you need to be successful. And I think tonight, if he's given that opportunity, if he steps up, I think not only does it change your outlook on him, in my opinion, it changes the outlook on this team. If he can be at the level of Mikal and Ryan Conwell and Isaac McNeely, holy shit. Excuse my language, sorry kids. It can go a long way for this team towards national championship aspirations.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the last thing I'd say about Kenai Ruths, last year, I think there was a point in the season where, you know, we're doing a show after every game, and I think the narrative became the same 5, 6, 7 games in a row, that the thought was more, okay, well, if Kenai's not hitting shots, I'm not sure this is a guy that you want to have out there.
Yeah.
Now this is a guy that you're like, why is he not starting?
Right.
And
I might leave Kenai in that starting lineup and put him on the bench.
Yeah, and I think that you are well reasoned in that opinion. And I think the reason is his overall knowledge of the game is so much higher. And again, you know, we haven't played world beaters in the first 2 regular season games, but you can tell. Yeah, my man knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I think that he's really starting to get comfortable in game 2. I'm excited for game 3 being a big matchup where we can test that result of game 1 and game 2. And I think that for me, he's the X factor. Switching gears a little bit, talking about players coming back and finding themselves, what do you expect out of Casey Pryor tonight? I mean, look, I am all for the pomp and circumstance, the trash talk. I got to be honest with you, I didn't like the comment after the game against Jackson State. It's very rare for me to not like crap talking and players talking. It was so unnecessary. You've not been healthy for a year. Just focus on the game. You don't need to make that comment. But I do think Casey tonight, I know, there's a football guy coming in like, no, that's what we do every play. Even when we drop the football, we talk crap.
I think that guy has like 6 concussions.
We sure doesn't have but I do like Casey being back, and I do want him to find his rhythm in this team. I do like having his physicality, but I don't really know what to expect from him.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I don't really have a problem with what Kaysen said. Look, if the UK coaching staff really needs to hang that up in the locker room, a tweet from Matt McGavick of something that Kaysen Pryor said, then they've already lost the game.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That is not anything that should be motivating to anybody. I think when you step between those lines for 40 minutes, it's pure hatred. I think that's the way we want it to be, and I think if you're a Louisville fan, that's what you should expect. Obviously, the comment was irresponsible, but the fact that we let 5 guys at a time go out and play against each other in this game is a bit irresponsible, to be honest with you.
Right.
So, I mean, ultimately, what I'm expecting from him is 10 to 15 minutes, and I'm expecting a lot of energy. I don't know if I'm expecting a lot of production. You could tell, in the Jackson State game, there was some rust.
Okay, I have some updates, guys.
Okay.
Louisville fans that have not been on Twitter, we got a couple of updates coming out now. One, Donovan Mitchell is in the house tonight for Louisville, UK. Love to have that. I believe the last team, besides the COVID team, that beat UK had Donovan Mitchell on it. Am I not mistaken on that? That was the De'Aaron Fox. Was that De'Aaron Fox, Devin? No, that's not right. It was De'Aaron Fox and somebody. Malik Monk.
Yeah.
Other update from Matt McGavick. I did not know this. Javon Hadley had a concussion.
Yeah.
And did not. I knew he was out, but I didn't ever hear why. But Javon Hadley is going through warm-ups now. No official report, but it does look like he will play tonight. So that is big news. There's been also a lot of conversation today about Otega Owe. I've seen, this is where I'm not good enough at being this sleuth on the internet. Some were saying he was in street clothes for walkthroughs this morning. The line moved. Others speculated that it could be because of Otega not playing. So we do have some injury news there that we'll see closer to game time now that impacts each team.
Sure. Yeah. Look, I mean, at this point, to me, it comes down to there's no excuses, right? Like,
there's no excuses.
The ball is about to go up in, 47 minutes? Oh, shoot.
Right?
The ball's going to go up in an hour and 7 minutes.
Yeah, an hour and 14 minutes because it's always like 9
Sure.
8:07.
The ball is going to go up within the next 2 hours. And none of that matters anymore.
No,
right? You have what you have.
Until the game's over with
and
they choose.
Again, not to use coach speak or anything like that, but I mean, I think that this UK team is extremely respectable. And look, they have the deepest team in the country, okay, folks? So I think that's it's significant news if he doesn't play, but I can't imagine something wouldn't have leaked if that was the case.
I have not seen any updates on Trent Noah for UK. He also, I believe, has a concussion or has had an injury. I know he had an injury, but have not seen an update on whether he will play tonight. I cannot imagine that he is the reason that the line has moved. But still, nonetheless, he's a guy that all offseason, if you're a UK fan, you're like, man, he is the guy that becomes our shooter. Really, Colin Chandler stepped into that role, but Trent Noah at 6'8", 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", somewhere in that area, he's definitely a piece that UK wants out there to complement their front court. Just scrolling through Twitter here, I'm looking to see if we have any other updates. Doesn't look like it in terms of injuries or anything, so I guess we'll see when we get closer to there. But just kind of high level and back out here. What does this game, if it does result in a win for Louisville, what does that mean for Louisville?
Yeah, I mean,
how do we react to this? Because Louisville has not won but twice since 2016. This game, every year Louisville fans get up, and then it's this fall back down to reality, and then it's like, okay, well, what are we? What does it mean, if anything, to you if UL does win this thing? Is it just that's a nice win, let's keep it rolling? Do you say, okay, Louisville's got the best win in the country now. If you look at just resumes, that means that this team is as good as we thought they would be. What do you think just about the reaction if Louisville does win?
Yeah, I mean, I think winning this game is everything. I really do. I mean, you listen to coaches and players, and I mean, they say it to a person. Like, when there's a conversation between them and the stranger, most of those conversations end in a complete stranger telling them that they need to beat UK or else there will be consequences. I mean, and not to, try to, make light of it or anything like that, but I mean, it means a lot.
When that happens
I mean, like, I'd be lying if I didn't say this game means a ton to me. I mean, when you lose 14 out of 17 games, Jacob, like, it's significant. And I think that the coaching staff for Louisville, I mean, everybody associated with the athletic department feels that way.
Yeah.
We all...
You don't want to?
We all feel that way, right? And I think that this game could be potentially extremely significant because of the momentum that you can gain, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that nationally everyone is bought in as much as the UK fan base is, right?
Yeah.
Like, you got to remember, like, when Pope and Kelsey were, when it came out that these two were going to be hired, like, people were ready to riot.
Yeah, they were.
Like,
now both fan bases, for the most part, are willing to die for those coaches.
That's exactly right. But I think that because of that, they have less of that grace. They have less of that wiggle room because it's not necessarily an expectation thing. It's just more of a you you have less of, you have, the clock is ticking a little bit faster for these guys.
It is, and Louisville is going to play Arkansas, Indiana, Tennessee, Memphis, Baylor. This is not the ultimate measuring litmus test, if you will, of what you are as a team, right? We're going to continue to play good teams. But if you win this game and you get that monkey off your back of losing, what'd you say, 14 of 17, 15 of 17?
Yeah.
These guys don't freaking care about that record. They haven't been here for that. They're 0-1. 3 guys are 0-1. The rest of them are 0-0. It's a new day today. They get that done. To them, it's not as much pressure as it is to us. I don't think Pat's wearing the pressure of this game. Like you've called this out. If you ask Pat Kelsey what he's excited about right now, I'm excited about going out here and shooting balls and warming up. That's what we're going to focus on being great at right now. And then if you ask Pat before the game, I'm really focused on putting my pullover on and my glasses. I'm focused on getting those and doing the best job I can. And then it's go out and win the game. Pat does not strike me as the Rick Pitino just owning this pressure. Chris Mack been living in that and just like absorbing the Rick Pitino pressure. And then Kenny Payne walking through like, I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry, I don't care. You guys are gonna lose. I don't care. We're all gonna play. I'm gonna tell you I'm excited if we win by 1 or lose by 1. I mean, it's just such a wrong mentality that I think Pat gets it. Pat, it's not too big. It's not too little. It's just the right amount of care about this game. It is the only game, but it is also the game for Louisville UK in the regular season. Sure. It's early enough to where if you lose, you can play it off. It's no pressure. Go out there and own them. Like, play with a sense of confidence, play with a sense of ability to know the moment, understand what it means to the fan base, what it does for the organization, what it does for downtown Louisville, what it does for Goodwood, what it does. This game can bring the masses out to KFC Young Center for the rest of the season. Yeah. But at the same time, Pat's not worried about that. Pat's worried about just be great at the next thing. And I think that mentality will carry over with 5 or 4 big-time leaders, seniors, that just get how to lead their team. I just think it's different, man. It just feels different. And maybe I'll walk out of here and at the end of the night, and I'll hang my head low because I shared a video today on social about how Louisville has the better roster, and I went to Goodwood and I talked about how Louisville was better. But I truly believe it. And maybe it's Pat, just being Pat, making me believe it. Something feels different, man. It just feels different. And I just think that this will be the momentum to spark a Final Four, Elite Eight, national championship run. We'll look back on this, in my opinion, we'll look back on tonight and say, that's when we knew. That's when we knew this team just understood the assignment. One game, but yet win it because you're the better team.
Yeah, I think it starts with that first 5 minutes, Jacob.
It does.
It starts with the first 5 minutes of the game where, Kentucky has so often just immediately taken control. I think you got to come out and hit some shots.
Win the first 4. Win the first 4. Yeah. You need to win the first 4 minutes of this game. Oh, we got a car stand going on? Oh, it's a catch stand. Hold on. We got the microphones.
Yeah, we need a little louder.
I believe, is that a catch chant I hear back there? That was really quiet. Is that a catch chant I heard back there? I don't think it was. I think it was a car chant.
Come on, let's
You
get
hear that? Hold on. You hear that? You hear it?
I don't hear anything.
C-A-R-D-S, cars! I also yelled that in
That's a little better.
I hope for the YouTube
That's a little
audience,
better.
so I got that.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to close the show up now. I'm going to get to the Yum Center. Prediction time, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go.
It is the official prediction night. Surfside. Predicting that Surfside's going to win all the time, no matter what.
What's your favorite Surfside?
It is definitely the raspberry lemonade, strawberry.
Yeah.
We're out of this one, Vince. Would you be able to get me one
It's
more of these?
absolutely the iced tea
Aaron Boy
lemonade. Iced tea lemonade combo is elite.
See, I'm not a
Cannot be
tea
beat.
guy. I just opened that one for the first time. It's good, don't get me wrong, but I'm not a tea guy. So,
It's the
all right,
best.
predictions, ladies and gentlemen. You're getting ready to close your bill. Head over to the KFC Yum Center. What are you going to see tonight? What is the outcome according to Presley Meyer?
Yes, I think the outcome is number 1. Louisville's starting guards are dominant tonight. I think that's number 1. I think you see Michael Brown.
Randy can get you another one, Vince. Okay, never mind. Don't worry about it then.
I think you see Michael Brown tonight just look like a different player than everybody else on the court, right? I think that's number 1. That's where this starts.
Okay.
I think that this results in a game where I've been keeping track of this because we're nerds, right? Like we have spreadsheets for dumb stuff, especially.
Yeah, it's bad. My wife is always like, what are you doing?
One of the spreadsheets is fouls that are called against top 25 teams this year.
Okay.
And it's up significantly so far.
Oh, well, that's not a good sign. Well, we're home. Maybe it is a good sign.
In a rivalry game, though, my fear becomes that this becomes a free throw battle, but what that will also result in is a high-scoring game. And I'm going to go 92 to 86 Louisville. That's my
92
prediction.
to 86 Louisville.
That's right.
What's the math? Is that 8 points?
That is 6 points.
6 points. Thank you. Not great at math on the fly.
Yeah, I think.
So they would you take UK to cover.
If the line's at 6.5, I guess.
Yeah, I have to get with the line. It was 6.5.
Sure.
But okay. I like that. I like that. I've gone back and forth on this. I think a lot of this is going to come down to the final 2 minutes of the game. I think this is going to be a close game from start to finish. I think the spread to start was more accurate than the spread to start tonight. What the spread is tonight,
Sure.
I think it was more accurate to start.
Sure. All right, thank you, sir.
There we go. Catch by 90? Yeah. Okay, all right.
His cat is 90.
His cat is 90. Congratulations. That's a long time for a cat to live, man. Really happy for you. I think Louisville wins this one by, I'm going to say by 4. And so I think that line was really close. But here's the thing. I think the real battle is going to be the game within the game of the spread at the end with free throws.
Yeah.
If Louisville is up and UK is fouling to get back in, this game has a chance to go from like a 3 or 4 point game to like an 8 or 9 point game really quickly, just depending on how the final minutes go. But I'm going to say it's a really close game that comes down to UK having the last chance to tie it up. Louisville up 3 or 4, and UK closing getting the shot and then missing, and Louisville getting free throws to push away.
To push it open. Okay.
So I'm going to go 84 to 80. That's what I'm going to go with tonight with Louisville as the victor. Leading scorer, Ryan Conwell. I'm going to say Ryan Conwell, but I'm going to say that Mikal Brown Jr. has a near double-double. He's going to have 14 points, 9 assists. Okay. And I think the X factor in this game is Kenai Ruth. I think he is going to be your second or third leading scorer. But Kenai Ruth, Mark, you're going to say you heard this tonight, the Jacob Lane State of Louisville guarantee. Kenai Ruth is going to have a play that makes everyone in this building go freaking nuts.
Women and children will weep for days.
We will name our kids Kenai in 9 months.
I will
I
will legally change my dog's name to Kenai.
To Kenai, yeah. So I feel really confident with Louisville. We got Cats fans, Card fans. I think that everyone here feels really confident that their team is going to get the job done tonight. We will see. 55 minutes roughly to tip off. Jacob Lane, Presley Meyer, State of Louisville Live, brought to you by Surfside. I hope everyone was able to try a Surfside tonight. If you don't, or if you didn't, try one at the arena. And Cards fans, encourage you to get over there early, be loud, make a difference, have a couple of drinks, do it the Louisville way.
If you're not going, come hang out with me at Goodwood.
If you're not going on YouTube, Twitter, get down to Goodwood. I think our team is going to stay here and hang out and watch the game.
We'll be chilling.
But thank you all. Last time I checked, we had a couple thousand people watching on the internet. We got a couple hundred people in the building here. Shout out to everyone who came out here and made this their stop. I don't want to speak too soon, but I was having some conversations before, and I think this might become the home of State of Louisville pregame. 4 home games for the rest of the season.
It's too cool of a place not to.
Exactly, that's exactly right. So we will get out of here with that. Audience, thank you all so much for joining. We appreciate it. We will continue to do this. Stay tuned in to State of Louisville Live. Jacob Lane, Presley Meyer, Dalton Pence, Matt Childress, Roman Kelly, Alan Thomas, and ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't hear the announcement this week, Reese Gaines will be joining the State of Louisville team this season. We'll bring his expert NBA and Louisville basketball expertise to our pregame and postgame. Online, tune in tonight after the game, right after the game, probably about 10-15 minutes. Alan Thomas, Jay Cook, maybe Roman Kelly. Can't count on Roman Kelly's schedule. He's the busiest man at Louisville. They will go live with our pregame show, our postgame show tonight, win or lose. Be sure to tap into that. For all of you here, thank you so much for supporting us, for listening. Close your ears, I understand. That's what my wife does when we do the podcast at home. I get it. I can't blame you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, State of Louisville Live. Jacob Lane, Presley Meyer, go Cards. We will see you later on.